Neo Leo, The Ageless Ideas of Leonardo da Vinci by Gene Barretta. Leonardo da Vinci was fascinated by the world around him. He studied animals and people. He watched plants grow and birds fly. He explored the mighty rivers. Nature was his teacher. It inspired his remarkable studies and inventions. Leonardo's ideas were revolutionary, but they remain buried among his 20,000 pages of notes. Most of his inventions were not built during his lifetime. The designs were either too expensive, too sophisticated, or too controversial. Sadly, most of his ideas have been lost to time, but the surviving notes prove that he was a true visionary. For example, Neo, 1903. The Wright brothers were famous for creating an engine-powered aircraft that could carry a person into the sky. Leo. 400 years earlier, Leonardo had designed several man-powered aircraft, including the ornithopter. He wanted to give people the ability to fly like the birds. He passionately studied. Neo, in 1891, Otto Lilienthal had actually seen Leonardo's ornithopter drawings in the late 1880s. He was motivated to develop history's first successful hang glider. But Leonardo's designed his glider after watching leaves glide through the air. Neo, in 1887, Adolf Eugene Fick is responsible for making and fitting the first pair of successful contact lenses. Oddly enough, he tested them on animals. But Leonardo's diagrams show detailed concepts of a contact lens. He used light and water to conduct advanced studies in vision and magnification. In 1895, Thomas Edison's kinetoscope was the forerunner of the modern movie projector. But it was not the first example of a projector. Leonardo figured out how to use light to project images through a lens. Neo, in 1781, Thomas Paine exhibited a model of his single-span bridge to Benjamin Franklin's garden. At the time, no one believed his bridge could work, especially without the usual support piers to hold up the center. But Leonardo believed that a single-span bridge was surely possible. But like Mr. Paine, he never saw his bridge constructed. He also proved the value of truss bridges. Leonardo's experiments confirmed that a triangular truss would resist tension better than the older box structures. He proposed a two-level truss bridge, the bottom level for transportation and the top level for pedestrians. Neo. In 1916, the world had not seen a tank in action until World War I. The British Navy developed it, and Captain H.W. Mortimer brought one into battle for the first time. But Leonardo was thinking about tanks long before Captain Mortimer. Turtles became his model. He considered himself a pacifist, but looked at weapons as a design challenge. He also designed grenades, machine guns, and a giant catapult, among other things. In 1870, James Starley is credited as the father of the British bicycle industry. Many of his inventions led us closer to the type of bicycles we ride today. Did Leonardo invent the bicycle? A bicycle does appear in Leonardo's notes. While historians agree that it is not his drawing, Some think that a pupil drew it after studying a bicycle prototype in Leonardo's workshop. Others say it was drawn as a prank by someone centuries later. We may never know for sure, although we do know that Leonardo had designed many parts that are used to build bicycles, such as gears and chains. Neo in 1907, Paul Cornu was a bicycle maker by trade. He built the very first helicopter to lift off vertically. It hovered 1 foot above the ground for 20 seconds. Prior to that, Leonardo devised his own version of the helicopter, the helical screw. It used the same principle of modern helicopters for compressing air to achieve liftoff. Unfortunately, the weight of his machine and the man-powered mechanics would have prevented real flight. Modern boats have fish-shaped hulls, unlike the square-shaped hulls of days gone by. And all passenger ships today are required to have double hulls for extra protection. Long before these features were accepted, Leonardo watched fish swim and realized that their body shapes were ideal for traveling through water. He also envisioned double hull body to keep boats afloat after being rammed. In 1943, Jacques Cousteau and Émile Gagnon made modern diving equipment popular when they designed underwater breathing equipment called the aqualung. Scuba gear existed much earlier than Leonardo, but he added his own features, such as an inflatable bag to raise and lower a diver and reinforce a breathing tube. With the use of modern imaging technology, doctors now understand that when blood moves through the heart, it forms a vortex that opens and closes the valves. But Leonardo had already figured it out. Through detailed body dissection and simulated water experiments, he discovered and diagrammed accurate examples of vortex formation in the blood. What do a steam locomotive and a cooking rotisserie have in common? Leonardo da Vinci, of course. His notebooks are filled with experiments on steam power and air pressure, predicting the development of the steam engine. He understood that hot air rises and used that knowledge to operate an automatic rotisserie, the very first. In 1885, automobile engineer Carl Benz invented the first gas-powered automobile and essentially launched the auto industry. In 1940, when people attended the 1940 World's Fair in New York, they came face to face with Electro and Sparko, two of the world's earliest robots. Leonardo's self-propelled cart foreshadowed both the automobile and the robot. The cart was spring-powered, and levers and gears were used to program its movements, like a primitive robot. Leonardo designed the actual constructed robots for royalty and court pageants. Springs, levers, water, and weights powered and controlled them. In 1785, Jean-Pierre Blanchard created the original all-fabric parachute and was the first to prove that it could provide safe escape from a hot air balloon. Actually, his dog proved it. Leo, or one could argue that Leonardo proved it first before both of them. He had a different purpose for his parachute. Its function was for traveling from high to low surfaces, like the birds he observed. His triangle design, unfortunately, was never tested. Until now. That's right, Leonardo's ideas are finally coming to life. Several are being built and tested, and they are working. Adrian Nicholas built and flew Leonardo's parachute. Verborn Sands team built the single-span bridge. Mark Rosenheim built and operated the self-propelled cart in Robot Night. Dr. Maury Guerre built and confirmed the success of Leonardo's artificial heart valve model. And Steve Roberts and Martin Kim built Leonardo's glider, Judy Lead and Fluid. The amount of knowledge and vision found in Leonardo's notes is overwhelming. And remember, about 2/3 of his notes are still missing to this day. Imagine what is left to learn from this incredible inventor.